So right now on gold, we can see there's this order block. Price broke the structure to the downside. Now we have this zone where I'm looking for a change of pattern. So I want price to break this previous low and create some kind of liquidity so we can look for sell side trades. And even though there is no order block here, so I'll put my stop loss above this area. So I'm waiting for price to break the previous low. And on EAU, hello, Mr. Zoom. MX Zoom. And on AUD USD, I'm waiting for price to break this previous high. So as we can see, this candle swept out all the liquidity. Okay, so this candle swept out all the liquidity. It mitigates here. It mitigates some kind of candle. Let's see on 50 minutes. Okay, 1 hour. No, it's still not mitigated. But on higher time frame, we can see this candle swept out liquidity. So I want price to break this previous high, this high, and this candle swept out all this trend line liquidity. Okay, so if we go to lower time frame, we can see all these red candles started to sweep the liquidity from this area. So I'm waiting for price to break this high so we can look for confirmation to the upside. Right now, just by looking at the liquidity structure break, price can react from this to the upside, but it's still risky to enter. And the second thing is I want for price to create a new leg. Right now, it's in this leg only, so it can continue to the downside. What we want to do is we want price to sweep the liquidity. Like even one candle sweeps the liquidity and then it breaks the previous high, we'll still do it. So price have tapped this order block. Let's see. So and gold price have created this equal high. I want price to break this previous low so we can look for sell side. And this is the buy side order block where I'm looking for buy. So session has started. So in this session, we can expect a move to the downside. Let's go. So as we can see, price failed to react from this order block and still continuing to downside. So this setup, there is no setup over here. Let's see some other one. Okay, on GJ we can look for buy side now. Logic is very simple. Prices with the liquidity and broke the structure to the upside, and now it have created trend line liquidity over here. See first how much is the stock. So I'm looking for entry here. Next high will be the target. There is news on CAT and unemployment rate. Look at setup on CAT. Till then, let's look at some of the other setups. On monthly time frame, we can see price have tapped our order block over here, like price fulfill this FVG, and on lower time frame on weekly, we can see price have swept all this trendline liquidity. So prices with this all trend like all this trendline liquidity and tapped our POI. So if you go to 4 hour, we can see price is rejecting at this level and it has swept equal lows, like two equal lows, but still price have not broke the previous structure. So this is our previous structure. But our internal structure is still going to the upside. Here we can see price swept this low and this candle pushed this candle. It swept out the liquidity and now price have tapped this area. So we can expect this to go to the upside. So let's see on lower time frame. Here we can see the price have already mitigated this area. And let's look at this. So right now we don't have any entry because this is already mitigated. So we want to wait for price to create a new structure. Let's look at G. Uh, I have shared this study in my community. So the logic was price have already tapped this area. Like this candle took out this previous candle, so it became our order block. This is our FVG price tapped this order block, and then there was this unmitigated order block. Price tapped this unmitigated order block and then started to go to the upside. AUD USD, I'm looking for buy side trade, but price have like consolidating here from yesterday. So there is no point looking for trades. EJ is similar. EJ also is looking for buy at this area, but I did not got a retest, so I did not look for entry over here. Look at some other setup. 5 minute, 1 minute. Euro USD also the overall structure on 4 hour it's going to downside, and I think it can continue till 116179. Till then, we can look for sell side trades, and just by looking at the candlesticks, we can see all the candlesticks are like creating wicks and sweeping liquidity. So price have already mitigated this order block here. Now what we can look for is we can look for sell side trades at this order block. We need to wait for price to create some more liquidity, and we can target this equal, not equal lows, but this next demand zone. The first target will be the next liquidity area, like inducement point. So price swept out this liquidity and broke the structure. Not this, but this will be our first target. Hello, hello. I think price will hit my stop loss. Setup was perfect, but I think price will hit my stop loss. And there again, there is only this order block where price can react, but this is not good for entering directly. We want to see this kind of pattern forming again, like this. This was a good setup. Price with the liquidity, broke the structure. Okay, finally price has swept the stop loss. If price breaks this high, I'll look for another entry to the upside. So I'm waiting for price on GJ, like price hit my stop loss. Actually, I placed here. It should have been here, but still I'm waiting for price to break this previous high, like this one, so I can look for buy side entry again. Uh, if price hits my stop loss, that doesn't mean that I will change the direction. I will look for sell side trades. I'm still looking for buy side. I want price to break this previous high because this induced, like this also induced me. It hit my stop loss because of that. We can see price when created this week. I entered over here and it sweep the previous high and broke the structure. This means that there is more liquidity here, like liquidity is above this high, so it can sweep the liquidity. That's why price have already created this Quasimodo pattern over here. So if this breaks, I look for entry and put my stop loss below the smallest low. So it will be the 0.5% risk more. I'll uh, like I'll use smaller stop loss so they are assured and with a 0.5% of risk, so I can cover this 1% loss. Okay, on gold, right now I think this price is creating just a random trend line liquidity, and that's why I think I'm waiting for price to break this previous area, but still price is continuing higher. And for me to enter buy side, price needs to like there is this order block, but price have not sweep the liquidity over here. Okay, here there is buy side like here there is a good order block and there is a sell side liquidity at this area. Similarly on CAD JPY because of news. Now we can see on CAD JPY, the overall trend is now going to the upside. On weekly, price have already tapped this area, and here on on daily, price swept this previous low and broke the structure to the upside, creating a long imbalance over here. So we can expect a pullback on higher time frame. So let's see if here price swept the liquidity, price mitigated this order block, and now price have created this imbalance. So we can look for retest here to the upside. Let's see on 5 minutes, 1 minute. On Euro USD, we can look for sell side here. Price have not created a trend line equity, but we can see price tap this order block. And if price breaks this, then we can look for sell side, putting a stop loss below above this high. So logic is price will sweep this high. So it will take this inducement and it can continue to the downside. So if price breaks this, then we can look for sell side entry. It's like looking for continuation in the downside. USD CAD, I think we have this entry going on. Not entry, but Price have tapped this order block, and now because of news, it can continue higher to the upside. I think so. Not entering, but just looking at this. So you can see. If you have not liked it, please like this stream. So this gives me confidence. So I can stream next time. Like I'll be consistent. On Euro I'm waiting for price to candle like it should close below this area, so we can look for sell side. But I think there is no momentum, like volatility is very less today. Let's look at Euro JP. So I'm waiting for price to break this area so we can look for buy side trade to the upside, like upside trade. So price is sweeping this area and clearing more liquidity. So a lot of traders, what they do is like they wait for price to, if price hits their stop loss, they'll look for sell side trade. But most of the times, if you are looking for a trade, and price hits your stop loss, it eventually it will go in your direction only. So that's why even if price sweeps the liquidity, the overall direction of trade is to the upside. But I think I feel like I was looking for this trade because of this single candle which swept off the liquidity. But overall, the structure on higher time frame is still not mitigated. So what do you mean by structure mitigation is if price creates like price taps this or block, like price create this high, okay, and sweep this previous low and create a new high. So structure mitigation is something like price should tap at this area and then it should continue to the upside. So that's more high probability than tapping at some random. So here I took this trade because there was this imbalance and price tapped at this order block. So that's why I was looking for buy side trade. So price is slowly coming to the upside now, and the thing is because the price hit my stop loss and stop loss was too big. Right now I'm entering at 0.5%, but I'm making sure that I'm using 50% of my stop loss. So the risk to reward will be double. Right now it's 1:3, so it will be 1:6 or 7. So in one-on-one only, I'll be at break even here, something like this. And for example, if price breaks this, so right now we will see breaker block in action. Okay, so price will create a breaker block at this area because price have created this order block which broke the structure to the downside, and because of that price will break this previous structure. Okay, and it needs a lot of momentum to break this previous structure. That's why it creates a breaker block at this area and not a block, and it will like price will sweep this previous liquidity first, like it will tap this order block, it will sweep the liquidity, and then it will break the structure. So this will be breaker block and this will be our order block. Can you explain gold on 5 minute? Okay, so on gold, actually I was looking for sell side trade, but price did not give me a change of adder. Like I was waiting for price to break this area. So right now I'm looking for buy side trade only. On 5 minutes, let's start from the high. Okay, so overall the higher time frame price have a lot of liquidity above these highs, so we can say this is whole thing is mitigated. And So we have this higher time frame order block, which is this one, this whole red candle, and there is a trend line liquidity. So right now, if you want to look for buy side trades, then look for on 1 minute only. So here, this could have been a good entry. If you go to 1 minute, you can see there is order block. Like there was imbalance, price tapped this order block and then started to go to the upside. Right now, we have the same area, which is this is order block, but I think this is mitigated because of this structure. So let's wait for price to sweep the liquidity, some kind of liquidity, just like here. Price created this high, sweep the liquidity from here, and then it create new structure. So 1 minute, so on 1 minute, you should look the same. The thing is, if you are trying to enter at this random order block, price will just sweep out the liquidity, and we will never know till how much price will sweep the liquidity. So it can sweep all this previous low, or this low, or this low, or this low, until it does not breaks to the opposite structure. So it thank you, Smith. Thank you. But like the engagement on this channel is too low. It's very low. Like even having 9K subscribers, nine around 10K, I'm still getting 5 to 4 views. Look for inducement on higher time frame. Like just like on GJ, if price sweeps this liquidity and breaks the structure to the upside, then you can look for a 5 minute trade to the upside. Like here we can see price created this imbalance. Like we have this imbalance. Okay, we have this imbalance. So just by looking at the imbalance on higher time frame, you will know that there is some kind of liquidity over here, right? So what you have to do is, if you go to lower time frame, you have to look for price to sweep that liquidity and wait for price to break in the opposite direction. Like here, there is this liquidity. You will not enter directly at this order block. You will wait for price to break this previous high, okay, which sweep out this previous liquidity. That's a good confirmation that if on 1 minute time frame, if you understand this, there is this liquidity which was swept by this green candle, and so it's a strong low on 1 minute, right? So if this is strong low on 1 minute, if this is strong low on 1 minute, strong lower high, sorry, and it has swept the liquidity and broke the structure to the downside, then if this breaks, then it's high probability that the momentum is shifted to the upside. So you can look for the small trades to the upside, like 1:1, 1:2, 1:3. A lot of trade you can look for. Similarly, there is this order block. Okay. Until and unless price does not break the previous high, you will not look for buy side setup. Right. Here, price create a clear order block. So you can look when price starts to create a new leg in your direction. Okay, so this is the breaker block which price is creating. Price have tapped this order block, and now it's giving some kind of reaction to the downside, right? Just by looking at the candlesticks, we can see price consolidated for a while, and this candle, which is a bodied candle, which went down, and if this breaks to the upside, then it's a good confirmation that this will form a breaker block. Let's see on lower time frame where price can mitigate to. So there is this imbalance and there is liquidity. So price will not always mitigate the order block. It will just sweep the closest liquidity. So this is the candle. This is the move which swept out this liquidity. So we want to wait for price to break this liquidity and the next one. I shout out to thank you. Shout out to you for sharing info on super useful for scalping ideas on one time. Thank you. Welcome, bro. If you watch my previous like content on this channel, you'll learn a lot on liquidity, like the actual logic, how to use SMC. So your price swept this liquidity, and if this breaks, then it's good confirmation that price can continue to the high side. Yes, you have awesome content. I think you should have scheduled your live videos and all beforehand so people know where to join. Sure, from the next, like I'm starting, I'll be live like every New York session, like the same time for at least 1 to 2 hours. Like every day, I'm trying to be consistent on live. So let's see. Looking forward to it. Just found your channel episode. So you found out this channel on this live stream or because of the video? Now we have to understand this because of this structure. Price needs to collect all the orders from downside to break this previous high, which is a we can see this candle swept out liquidity and broke the structure to the downside. So price needs a lot of momentum or price needs to take a lot of orders from downside so it can break the structure, and that's why imbalance will create. So that's how imbalances are created. Only if this structure is broken, then only we'll look for buy side trades. How do you start your trading day by looking at charts? How will you identify 1 hour and switch to 5-minute on gold, explain on gold. So thing is, like, you have to understand in which range you're trading in. Okay. So if something happens on 1 minute, it will exactly happen on higher time frame. Okay. So for example, it's price sweeps out liquidity, like price creates liquidity. Okay. This is the first phase. It sweeps out the liquidity from these lows and breaks the structure to the upside. Now, here price creates imbalance. Okay. And here there will be two order blocks, which is this one and again this one. Okay. This is our imbalance or FUG, you can say. Again, price will create more liquidity to the upside. Again, new high. So what people do is they'll try to mark every single structure as a structure. Okay. This is structure, break of structure, this is break of structure. This is break of structure. But the actual structure is started where price swept out all this liquidity, and this is our strong low. You have to understand strong lows and strong highs. This is the most basic concept. If you understand this is strong low. And even before starting this whole move, just look at this. Okay, don't ignore this. Assume that only we are here. Price broke the structure to the upside. Now we know that all the higher time frame liquidity is swept from the downside. If all this sell side liquidity is taken from this low, all this trend line liquidity has been swept. In which direction price will trade to? Of course, to the higher time frame, right? And all higher time frame, and our higher time frame is going to the upside. So on 5-minute, what you have to do is you have to wait for like at this areas where, like, imagine we are trading at this range, okay, this range or this range. What we have to do is we have to only look for price where it breaks the structure, it creates liquidity, it sweeps the liquidity, breaks the structure to upside, creates more liquidity. Now we have this breaker block or order block where you can look for entry, and you have to find this similar setup in this move or in this move. And if price sweeps this liquidity from this high and breaks the structure like to the opposite side, then if price does not creates, like if price directly sweeps the liquidity and when like it goes to the upside, this liquidity has been swept. Okay, this is not change of pattern. Price will just tap this order block, and because this order block is mitigated, it will create more liquidity to downside. Price can come to this order block again, and it will sweep this more liquidity from this low. And if price does something like this, if price breaks this previous low and creates more liquidity here, then where is liquidity? The liquidity is to the upside here. So then we can look for sell side entry from this order. So this is the difference between a change of pattern and inducement. So price will go from this order block or it will sweep this low and it will start. You can look for sell side entry from this order block to the downside, again to the upside. So you don't have to mark like 1 hour and specific time frame. Just came across your live, so you are setting thoughts of your other techniques. Do you only trade with order blocks and FUGs? What about earlier those analysis Fibonacci? Actually, I don't use half of the, like in SMC only, I only use liquidity. Because of liquidity, everything is interconnected, right? So order block is liquidity is order block, and FUG is also order block. So everything is interconnected. So I just use the logic behind SMC, not like what people do is like they will just go to 1 hour and they'll try to mark structure. Like this is my order block. and this is my breaker block, and this is, and so on, so on. So you have to understand the logic behind the price, like what actually it's doing. Right now you can see it will create imbalance over here. Now this is our strong low. Just came across the live, so you're setting the charts and what can I say? What you should know? Okay, thank you. You can watch my video on the channel, like on liquidity and inducement, and also the imbalance. So you will get a pretty good understanding of like what I'm doing here. I think it's 2 to 3 years old. You just hit a very important topic. I've been struggling with how to trade continuation with trading range. Please make video on how to use breaker block and mitigation block full continuation. I think I've actually made the video. Like actually, I have made video on that, but I don't know like why I'm not getting reach on this channel. So I've already made this video. This one. Like I've explained like inducement with US at example. We'll check them out. Nice engaging with you, bro. Thank you for dropping off for now, but we'll check your video out. Maybe link your videos in there instead of users. I guess was them for, I guess. Yeah, sure, sure. Like I've only made 10 to not 10, but like 6 to 7 videos. Only 2 to 3 of them are important. On Euro AUD also price played from a order block. This kind of swept out the previous liquidity and the next high is our target. But I was more interested in GJ. You can use more hashtags and post more shorts and reels to get more people's attention. Shorts and reels are more engaging, then people understand your content. Yeah, yeah, it's somewhat true, but I think if I did more like live consistently, then people will get a pretty good understanding on live. Then also did the short strategy. Like I have posted shorts, but after some days, the reach on shorts, it's like you will get 100K, not 100K, like 1K views, and after that the views will drop. So it's better to do, like, if I do live consistently, then it's good for channel, I guess. Okay, so that's for today. Let's meet on Monday. Thank you for watching.